Hello everybody, you know me. Okay, no you don't, but you know who I am. I'm your Smarks Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Champion, Issa J. And 205 Live happened a few days ago, and I'm here to tell you, was it worth it? Let's get straight into it. It opens up with Drew Gulak coming out and saying how because Enzo is off on his out of the country tour, he is now the conductor of the Zo train and basically being a really good heel with a really good heel promo. That was pretty cool. Then we had the PowerPoint presentation about to go down, but before Drew was able to show his PowerPoint presentation, Cedric Alexander interrupts and comes into the ring, making Drew Gulak so upset. He then goes out of the ring and says, No, you are not facing me, you are facing Noam Dar, because Noam really needs to prove himself to the Zo train. The match itself was a bit underwhelming. It was really slow and it could have been a little bit faster paced, but for the most part, it was a good match. The match ends when Cedric Alexander hits his finisher onto Noam Dar to get the win, and it's sowing more seeds of discord between the Zo train of Noam not really getting the wins and not being able to prove himself. It also is undermining Drew Gulak as an opportunist or as a conductor for the Zo train. It really undermines his leadership skills, which was upsetting. But when it comes to storylines and how they did what they did with Noam and how they did what they did with Drew Gulak, it was worth it, even though it was a bit underwhelming at times. We go straight to a backstage interview with Rich Swann, and it's actually a pretty good one. He actually did a really good job. His best work that I've seen on the mic so far. And he was basically saying how, yeah, Drew wants me not 100% facing these, but I'm gonna show just how tough I really am. And in his match, when we get to it, we'll see if that was true. Yes, the match was worth it in the beginning, and the interview afterwards, yes, it was worth it as well. Then we had the Brian Kendrick come out to face off Gran Metalik, and this match was amazing. Should have been a main event match, but we'll get to that in a bit. It had some really cool spots like Gran Metalik running up, jumping over the barricade into a Hurricane Rana on the outside. That was a really cool spot. Had really good heel work by the Brian Kendrick. Gran Metalik going up for a really cool maneuver, but the gentleman Jack Gallagher getting involved, making sure Gran Metalik didn't get the win or get any offense in after that point. And it ends with the captain's hook or the bully choke, depending on what you're a fan of calling it. And Gran Metalik was not able to pass out or tap out because he was passed out. Yeah, the Brian Kendrick gets the win, and yeah, it's just showing more of how strong of a duo these two really are, and it'd be really cool to see them move up forward into the 205 Live brand. Get both of them more opportunities to become champion, because these two are probably your best. Yes, all the others are good. Tony Nese, amazing. Drew Gulak, really good too. And a bunch of the others, but these two just, they have their characters developed. They have their characters moving forward, and they're not the same old, which is good, because if it's all the same old, then the fans aren't going to be interested. So push these two guys up some more, because They're really strong. Oh, and by the way, yes, 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 and yes, the Brian Kendrick versus Gran Metalik was worth it. Great match. Great match. And then we had another Hideo Itami hype package. And I can't really say if it's worth it or not because it was just him doing his in-ring stuff, still looking like a heel. Who knows which way they're going to swing him. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, Hideo coming over to 205 Live is pretty cool. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully they'll be able to give a bigger and better vignette package to him real soon to actually get the hype up. Because right now it's either or. You could watch it or you could skip it. And then our main event was Rich Swann and Tony Nese. And this match had really cool spots as well. Almost a Phoenix Splash onto the floor. It was by Rich Swann. It was really, really cool. Tony Nese did a lot of good holds like he usually does. A lot of good movements in the ring. He's really great. So it was really, really technical and at times high flying. I wish they had a little bit more time to tell a story in the ring because the hardships of the 205 Live brand is that they're not given enough time. The matches usually end abruptly and it's just super underwhelming. Whereas they could do a lot more if they're given a little bit more time. But as for what the match was with these two guys, they did a good job. Yes, it was worth it in a way, but the way they were building up Tony Nese on the 205 Live brand, giving him the wins the last 2 weeks, and then just giving him a loss this week, was really upsetting because after the Phoenix Splash, Rich Swann gets the win, and I understand keeping him to look strong because he is the competitor in the match with Drew Gulak for the #1 contendership on Raw next week. But I mean, it could have been a lot more. It could have been a lot more, especially for Tony. They should have fed Arya Davari or fed Noam Dar again. But hopefully they do a lot more with Tony Nese in the future because he's really, really good. He's a really good heel. He's a really good wrestler. And hopefully, yeah, he gets a bigger push. After the match ends, Drew calls out to the others and they swarm the ring. But before they could do anything to Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann, because Cedric Alexander was on the ringside for Rich Swann's match, Akira Tozawa, that's his name. Before they could do anything in the match, Akira Tozawa rushes out, knocks down Drew. Then Mustafa Ali comes out, takes out the other guy, and it's just a 4-on-4 battle. The heels end up running away. Yes, this match was worth it just to see the overall story arc of what's going on. But they screwed up a bit because they had Mustafa Ali slowly turning heel, and then they just completely decided to disregard it and come save Cedric Alexander. I thought maybe Mustafa Ali is like coming, is like, oh, he's about to save it, and he joins the Zo train. Because Mustafa was going to have to join if Noam was going to get kicked out in order to keep the Zo train credible. But for what it's worth, yes, this week was worth it. But out of all of it, the Brian Kendrick match was the best. Because you have the Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher just two amazing wrestlers teamed up, and Gran Metalik, a fantastic luchador. So I can't wait to see what they do with those three in the future, and hopefully it's something great. But overall, yes, it was worth it, but it could have been a bit more. Hopefully they start doing a lot more, because if not, it's going to just get really repetitive with the same kind of style of matches, and that's not good, WWE. Come on, you can do this. You did it with NXT. You can make the 205 Live brand something special. That's all the time for me. And until next time, it will be awesome.